rituals and demonology and so on. You know that there are so many topics in Moshe Idel's book, and from what we are studying right now, this non-duality point of view, that what happens outside is a kind of projection. You know, it's a kind of projection of the mind. Um, I was wondering it uh, about these concepts. You know, that all these mysterious things that happens around these writings from this perspective. I don't know if you already thought something about it.
About the ability to act and to influence on the behalf of magical or assumption,
No,
idea. What is the question?
about how this came out. You know, how all this encyclopedia came out. You know, like because if it is a projection of the mind, um, how it came out. You know, because it is. I don't know how to put the question now, but you know when we
Maybe
read like about Lilith or about Naima and all this shit and stuff,
should.
right? Shadim, yes.
Yes, yes,
So
Shadim.
where did it came from?
The how to say the perspective that our that we have an illusion or our perspective is an illusion is being perceived by using those names. Good evening, Yanis. We're so happy to see you here. They say shed. Shed is demon. Yes. And against everything that there is like in the manifestation, there is like Shabbat Shalom. Yes. Against shed there is Shaddai. Shaddai. So the question that you ask where those names are coming from, like Shadim in general, and the names of the demons and the names of the maids. This is the question. Yes.
Yes. I can remember also that people even do not pronounce the name, you know. They speak like the name
Yes.
of the two words. So it's interesting, the two letters, the name of two letters, you know. Like two, the binary is already there, but
Yes. 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 Not to give it a holding because once there is a pronunciation, it's something that people can catch or the attention goes there. Yes. This is where it comes from. Everything, maybe not to write in a way, answer it this way, but to put just a map of what is happening, whatever we perceive, yes, is is a projection. It's not the absolute. For first and for this is the basic understanding that whatever we perceive is just this is just a projection. And in order that people will share the common ground, especially if you speak about the time of going out from the Middle Ages, it was very important to put clarity and say this is it, this is what it is, or this is just invention, or this is just a foreign belief. Also, it was very important. Going out from magical thinking, they used to give names to everything, like people are possessed, yes, or there's a black cat, or this one is capable of doing, this is magical thinking. By the way, magical thinking is not any different than linear thinking. which express itself in space and time. It's we don't tend to think about it in this way, but to believe even that action can cause someone harm or someone benefit. Do you understand the width of the bandwidth of the question?
Yes, yes. It gets subtle and subtle, let's say.
Yes.
The magical thinking just gets subtle,
Yes. To think that one can change the course of history. Just for an example, people do not change, and the way the mind is working did not change for thousands of years. Just in the 40s, when I gave this example a few times ago, that people came to Gershom Scholem in the middle, in the midst of the Second World War. It was a really hard times, especially in Europe. There was like extermination of people in chambers and so, and everybody was to kill, was intended to kill Hitler from different directions. Governments, communities, just they wanted to stop, and even from Germany itself. Yes. So some people came to Gershom Scholem. He was already in Israel. He lived in Jerusalem, and they set a meeting in his kitchen at night, and they came to him in the following text: "Give us a verse, yes. Give us abracadabra. Give us a spell. If only we'll be able to use this spell, the verse, the abracadabra, Hitler will be gone, and many life of people could be spared. Yes, and you could reduce the harm to humanity. Give us a verse. Give us something that we can leave this meeting armed, yes, with a special code or with special tool, yes, a golem, yes, that with it we can put an end to this horrible war. Just give us something. You are, how do you say, you're a professional in your field. Give us something." And Sholem gave them very direct answer. He says, "Who am I to interfere the course of history of what is happening?" In a way, in what he was saying, this, who am I to interfere? What is happening is the will of God or will of divinity. It's a very humble position. Also a war, yes, is the will of God. Also the course of a war in such a dimension is the will of the divinity. And if people are lured to believe that if they will meditate 5 hours every day, take an airplane, take few courses in spells, whatever, it's just ridiculous. How? How can anyone make any influence? How?
It's
Yes.
interesting that the books about apocalypse,
Mhm.
the apocalypse mind, let's say, apocalyptic mind, always it is like to supplant something, like it brings this idea, that who is being in a difficult situation will supplant evil. So I am wondering about this kind of approach, because uh, in Christian we have the St. John's Apocalypse, the book of
Mhm.
Revelation, and it is like I found it's a beautiful book, but it brings this idea, Like
Of what?
in the end of times, the bad will go to hell, let's say, and it will be to heaven, and so on and so forth.
In a way, there is no time. Let's look through. Yes, in a way, there is no space and time. The mind, in a way, the human mind goes through the journey to believe that there is a space and time. And all what comes from this theater is this, because any kind of scenario is being projected on the screen of the consciousness. Is it clear? Yes, I see. Yes? Like, for example, there is a rainy day, so there's rain coming, clouds, ta ta ta, the scattered showers, and again, clouds are moving, rain moves, and then there's just vibing, the birds are singing, and so everything is the same. So there is no change. The only change that exists is in the perceiver. Why the book of Genesis starts with bed or with dew, and there was evening and there was morning. Yes, one day. This is everything already starts. This is the foil. This is the background. This is the screen of reality. Darkness and light, evening, morning, and so on. Dry land, water. The more you open the contrast between things, the more you enlarge the foil or the screen in which what we perceive as reality will be exhibit on. But every one of us is experiencing is yes, whatever scenarios that comes is on the background of this emptiness of the being. Without the being, nothing can happen. And being always there, or always here, basically. The brain, the human brain, could not be processed before space and time. The brain is growing in time. Yes, the baby is born. It's part, as this description, the baby is his mother thigh. He's a part of. He's not outside of the world. Yes, he is nature. But when the baby grows, he is learn to believe that he is the center of everything. He has a name, and this is me and the world, and start the split. Yes, with the growing of the brain. Yeah, this is quite funny. The more the engine, the search engine, the brain is growing, the more splits and separation we shall experience. And the more we shall feel separated, the more we shall demand attention and think that we are the center of the world, and the more friction we shall have with life. But at some point, maybe there's like a click, yes, and we understand that we are not part of the. We are not like separated. We're just an expression of life, and there is no, and there isn't so much attention of the me, the story, and there's just like vibing, and there's no friction. Yes? So living life becomes less heavy or lighter, because what makes everything heavier is the search engine of the brain, because it is always exhibiting at the same split of a second two different moments. Imaginary story that happened in the past, and immediately it split in the future. And then one finds himself in between the two pictures, and there's need to measure this against that and what to do, because we are the doers. And so, and the start, how do you say in Hebrew, they call it machol shedim or mechol shedim. This is demon dance. Yes, demon, way back to the demons that you mentioned. But there isn't. There is a beautiful midrash about Wednesday, or the fourth day of creation, because in many Hebrew sources, the Wednesday is considered to be like mini Shabbat. How do you say? If you want to experience Shabbat before Shabbat, go to Wednesday or to the fourth day of creation, in which the illuminators were created according to the biblical story. And the moon came and complained according to the law in front of the holy blessed and says, now two kings, meaning the sun and I, the moon, two kings, yes, two kings of two kingdoms. This is the, how they say, the core text. Are two kings, the kings of the day, the sun, and the king of the night, the moon, will use now one crown. Was the complaint of the moon in front of the holy blessed. Now two kings will share one crown. Two governments, yes, will share one crown. The moon complained, and the holy blessed told the moon, go and minimize yourself. Go and minimize yourself. Now, when we look at the moon, it's not about the moon that, as how do you say, the moon that the NASA sends its team to. The moon is the human, which is born in space and time. And they complain that the moon brings is in front of the holy blessings. They complain of the brain, yes, of the human, that says now the soul, infinite soul, and me, the human, will share one crown. Infinite and finite will share one crown. This is the question. Yes, Felipe. Hello.
Hello,
Good
Eti.
morning.
Please, hello, hello. Can you hear?
Yes, we can. How do you do today?
I'm fine, Eti. I'm happy to be here. Happy to hear you. Shalom, Fernando, Yanis, Zeno. I just have a question, Eti, but please, I don't want to interrupt what the line of thought that you were teaching.
What is the question, Felipe? If you can hear us. Yes.
Yes, Eti. Sorry for the noise. I'm on the outside. One moment, please.
So let's continue with the lore. The moon asked the holy blessed, how can that be? The two kings will use one crown. When the moon is not the moon, it's basically the human brain that asks, how can it be that finite and infinite will use one crown? And the holy blessed he told the moon or the human brain, go and minimize yourself. Yes, yes, Felipe?
So, so Eti, I was just thinking about this beautiful Lord. I'll try to uh, make the question. So, it's interesting because we used to relate the rational brain with the sun, with rationality, light, and positivity, and the unconscious mind with the moon,
Yeah.
uh, with because it is often it's dark, it is uh, related with everything that is not rational. Let's say, let's put it. Although we like in the let's say in the psychological uh, theories, we we find that the rational is infinitely uh, minor than the unconscious and the irrational mind. So I was just thinking, it's interesting that the moon should diminish itself, diminish itself, and the sun is bigger than the moon. But in the soul, let's say, human soul, the moon aspect, the unconscious aspect, is infinitely bigger than the rational mind. Just thinking about this opposite relation, and if you have something to say about it.
Yes, yes, it's true. Yes, it's true. The sun and the moon, yes, there are two ways to look. Yes, to look at this. When the sun is the rational and the moon irrational, this is why there is attention to every new moon, which is coming into acknowledgement because it comes from the unknown, because it's unforeseeable. And there's a beautiful Talmudic, good afternoon, Abigail, that says, Haviu alai kapara. This is the Holy Blessed. He says, please bring some offering because I minimized the moon. Yes, this is how the Babylonian Talmud expresses this idea. So, but they're not really contradicting each other. By minimizing the moon, yes, by minimizing the moon, there is an access to the infinite. By minimizing the moon, by the fact that every 28, 29 days there is a renewal of the moon, we can experience the infinite, yes, the unlimited, while being alive. Do we understand? There is no contradiction in a way. Felipe, did you understand? Any questions,
Olá, beleza,
Orlando?
gente? Tudo bom, gente?
So again, and why every This was the question, why every
Sorry,
Wednesday
Eti.
we can experience the Saturday already, because there's a minimized version of the doer. Minimizing the moon is minimizing or canceling the self-doership. And then we can experience the great light, because we are not in the focus of attention. This is why every Wednesday is considered to be a little Shabbat. Also, many weddings are being, how do you say, dated to happen on Wednesday evening. Yes? And if we notice,
Eti.
the fourth day belongs to which fruit of the species? Do you remember the fourth day of creation, according to Weinreb? Which fruit comes on the fourth day? The fig. The fig. And the fig symbolizes development. So again, there's a stop, minimizing. Don't take the development so seriously. Don't take the development so seriously. And we hear this perspective from the fourth day. Go and minimize yourself. The moon complained, how can it be the two kings will use one crown, the sun and her? Yes, two governments will use one crown, and the holy blessed told the moon, go and minimize yourself. You are not to decide. And the moon in this current law symbolizes the human brain, yes, or the human mind. Because the human mind cannot see anything but two. Splits. Yes, Felipe?
Hello. Can you hear now?
Can anyone hear Felipe? 1 second. Can anyone hear Felipe? Because I can't. I cannot hear Felipe. Abigail, can you hear Felipe? Yanis? Is there anyone? Because maybe Felipe can write what he wants to say, because at the moment it's impossible to hear you. Not clear why. Yes, Felipe? Hello? Hello? Hello, Abigail, can you hear? Yanis? Zeno, can anyone hear? No, cannot hear. Okay. You can't hear Felipe. Okay. Did you hear about the fig? Did you hear the relation between the fig and the fourth day of creation? Yes? Very good. Very good. So already on Wednesday, we can feel the coming Shabbat, because there is decrease of an activity. This is what the laws tell us. Already at the fourth day, because if you have read Weinreb book, counting to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is extreme development, and from here everything just stops. Any experience with application? Felipe, Abigail, Yanis, did you try the Bible application? Web? Have you tried this? Can you share your experience with it? Yanis Abigail. It's a beautiful one. It has a dark mode. It has single verses. It maybe Zeno can speak about it, about the option of the application. If Zeno can hear us now, yes. Yes, you tried it. Yes, thank you, Abigail. Yes. It came as a conversation after recommending to you the Israel Bible. We were looking at it the next morning. It was last Shabbat that I offered you the Israel Bible, and we were sitting a few hours later looking at it and noticing it goes all kinds of ways. And we said, why don't we launch like a free application as a poetry without sidetracks and interest, just as it is, as Moses says, כתבו לכם את התורה הזאת, write to yourselves this poem, this song, this poetry, and this is what it came to be. Yes, the Bible as a poetry, the Bible as a song. You can focus on single verse mode. Yes, yes, you didn't try it yet, Yanis. Yes, it's very relaxing to read in this way, and one of the considerations that to launch it as poetry was as the Bible is, or as the Torah is, without interpretation. Yes, without translation, without the process of time. Because what happens today, and even if you go to different sites over the net that they offer services of Hebrew sources, already you cannot access the Bible as is, because there's like 3,000 years of translations, explanations, yes, interpretations. It becomes so heavy, distraught, that it's impossible to access, and people are being repelled, yes, from it. So one of the prime, let's say, ideas was to just give it as is, without the need to translate. Yes, there is a basic, simple English translation, but without the heaviness of so many thousands of interpreters of the Bible to its generations. So see if you have the time to look into single mode. Sometimes you can read few verses, and it's without commercials and without pop-ups, and so this is just peace. Yes, the Torah is also called Brit Menucha, the covenant of rest. When you read the Torah, the Bible, you can rest in it, even when the Bible describes, as we read yesterday, the book of Amos, and the prophecy of Amos describes like horrible scenarios like we experience here in this place the last 2 years. Even in those great descriptions of the prophets, you can rest in it because you see it's not man-made. Wars are not being made by politicians, by king. This is a divine will, and you get a lot of, not you get, but once you read it, there's a lot of peace in it, because nothing has changed. And it's the beauty of it. Also, the language is very straight, because this is Lashon HaKodesh, this is the holy tongue. It's not produced commanded language. In many versions of the English Bible, the way the English is built, when we read some verses, it sounds like commands, and it ain't. It's just so beautiful. It's the most beautiful jewelry, yes, someone can have, or not having in terms of possession, but noticing that this is existing. It's the truth, it's the rest, and also love. And when you sometimes approach other sites that offers the Bible with the Greek, with Gematria, with the Vision, with King James Bible, with this, with this, with this, there are so many splits, and the impression that you get is not Menucha, but you get the impression of great hunt. Because once the brain is noticing a text, a wall of text, sometimes it's many text or many languages from different directions, log. And once you offer the brain such a page with so much text, it just wants to eat the bone and fast as possible. So there is no rest reading in it. There's just struggle. So people sometimes want to get impression from the Bible, to rest in the Torah, but it's impossible because they have to cross so many struggles until they arrive to the core text. So if you have time, and I was reading it on a bus and I was like, whoa. And you can also compose verses listening to it. It's beautiful. So there is a web app and there's also now a mobile app on the phones, and it's accessible to everyone. Thank you, Zeno. Yes, Zeno was the one. He looked into which source we can pull the text from. Yes, and this is a very interesting source. It has been known as Codex Leningrad, but this name was given to the text 1,000 years later. The Torah or the Bible that we are reading on this application was written in 1008 Anno Domini, yes, 1000, yes. It was written. The Bible that we are reading now on the application was written in 1008, yes. Oldest versions of the Hebrew Bible as a basis. Zeno, would you like to speak about it? Do you have a microphone on? Would you like to share? Yes? Microphone not. Yes. Thank you. So in Egypt, yes, 1,000 years ago, there was a family called Ben Asher, and they had the corrected version of the Bible with the punctuation, and they set in Egypt, and in those times Egypt was very, how do you say, was flourishing and a source of intellectualism and exchange of spirits, meaning people were not hunted because they were speaking different languages, so people had relatively space to write a Torah. And there are the footnotes which Ben Asher says that the version of the Torah is according to the sages' advice how to write the psukim, the verses. If there are corrections, they are corrected on the side and so. And it is kept, yes, 1,000 years. At 1865, somehow, this Torah scroll managed to arrive to St. Petersburg in Russia and stay there. A few years later, there was a Bolshevik revolution, and they changed the name of the city from St. Petersburg, to Leningrad. So the Codex of the Torah in the library received the title, the new title, Codex Leningrad, though the original place is St. Petersburg. And this is a handwritten Bible or handwritten Torah by, I think it's the whole Bible, yes, of Ben Asher. Ben Asher is a family that used to sit for generations in Tiberia. This is a city next to the Lake of Galilee in the Kinneret. If you have acquaintance with the geographical map of Israel, it has a sweet water, a lake of sweet water, and there's a city called Tiberia, and the family used to sit there for 200 years, where everything was crystallized. How to punctuate, because there was a fear among the sages that as time progresses, people will not have the notion of how to read the Hebrew because it's only vowel. Because it's only, how do you say? Not vowels, the other consonant, yes? Yes, consonant. So they developed a way of creating vowels without using letters, but punctuations. And the Bible, the Torah that was written in Egypt, has to follow the same logic. To bring the people, they could see in their mind that many years will pass and people might be or get far from the source. So they made an effort that people will have the ability to read the words with their sound, that they will have a sense of how the Hebrew is being heard. This is what's so special about it. Not to lose the sound of the language. Still, the handwritten Torah is being researched every day by professors. Zeno, the code, the Leningrad Codex or Codex Leningrad is still being researched every day. Professors of all over the world in the field are still researching the code. It is amazing that we are reading now in the Torah that was written 1,000 years before our time. And when Ben Asher wrote the Torah in 1008, it was 2,200 years after Moses first wrote it. So it's a document of 3,300 years or so. Yes, we speak about now about the five books of Moses. Yes, the document is 3,300 years. This is the most ancient source that we have, not just in Hebrew, but as consciousness speaks. Yes, we are using the latest update from October 25. Yes. Yes, from handwritten Torah to mobile application. Yes. So the document that now is being, let's say, exhibit or is being seen through mobile is 3,300 years. Yes, the consciousness speaks. What is so special about the Torah? This is consciousness speaks. And there was another issue that we had to deal with this week is the adaptation of verses, because in many English Bibles there's, especially in Psalms, yes, also in Ecclesiastes this morning, there is a separation between the first verse of Psalms and the rest of the chapter. Usually in many English translation there is a cut. The first verse of Psalms is being crowned as a title. There is a separation Yes, the first verse is being taken as a title with bold letters, and then underneath comes the rest of the Psalms. And if people are checking, they see that there is a missing verse, yes, but there isn't. So Zeno just went through the whole Psalms. There's 150 chapters, yes, and he had to, how do you say, to adapt, yes, to bring back again the Psalms to its source, because the English verse, um, how do you say, the English editions through the generations of time separated, this is very important to understand, separated the first verse of Psalms from the rest of the chapter. And now Zeno had to make an operation and to join them together because they were separated. So apparently if you had to say the name of the chapter in Psalms and you said 15 and people say, no, there isn't like verse 15 because everything, there was a missing verse, but there isn't any missing. Now everything is one. Thank you, Zeno. It was a great week for us here in Israel, a great week of fire, because we had to find like mistakes and to put it together that everything will fit. Yes. Yes. What people usually do, yes, with many people in many weeks, we managed to compile with the help of Felipe and Shlomo together in 1 week, because they were going or checking the application as web application and on the phone and always offering, is this can be done? Is this possible? We also added, yes, a Portuguese. Yes, this week there's also an option to choose Portuguese. So there's Hebrew, yes, there's English, and since Felipe asked for Portuguese, so there's also Portuguese. And if people in the future will ask for more languages to add, we are open. So you're most welcome to try it and tell us. This is amazing, because this morning we were offered to put like footnotes when you read the Bible, place for footnotes, and there was idea, okay, the application will stay as it is on the phone, but to the desktop we can put footnotes because there's more space. And then we said, you know what, to put footnotes is like to interpret the Bible. It's a process in time, and this is not the intention. As Moses said, כתבו לכם את התורה הזאת. כתבו לכם את השירה הזאת. Write to yourselves this poem or this poetry or this song. It's a song. And all the rest, and the song is being. Yes, this is how life is. Birds are tweeting, flowers are blooming, yes, flying, hearing. The Torah is a song. And any note that you add on top, it's interpretation, explanation. It's a process in time. So we would like to thank each and every one of you for being here with us today, coming to those sessions, asking questions. It is very important. Also, beautiful questions were asked this week by Yanis, and we just extended the answers and we created a blog post from those questions. So there's another, how do you say, column in the Hebrew Learn Out Live blog of questions, Q&A, and Yanis is writing a question and there's like an answer, and we share it with people. Yes, in the newsletter and also as YouTube subscribers to YouTube post. So it's great. The more you ask, the more we participate in this beautiful project. And we would like to thank you for that, for being here, asking questions. being friends. And we would like to wish you a very good season and Shabbat Shalom. And if you have the time to look at the application, whether it's a web app or on the phone, please write us your impressions. We shall be delighted. Toda, Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Zeno, Yanis, Abigail, Felipe, and Fernando, and hope to see you soon on Monday at the same time. Toda v'litraot.